Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be going over the Cowboys versus Chiefs game. We're going to be breaking down all the action in that game. Before we get started, please drop a quick like and sub on today's video. That would really help my channel grow. Really appreciate that. And with that said, let's dive right into the video, and I hope you enjoy. So let's dive right in here. Pretty big game between the Chiefs and the Cowboys. Obviously, big Chiefs win. They got Clyde Edwards Helaire back in the win. And, this was a pretty solid game. Of course, Patrick Mahomes didn't play the kind of game that he wanted to or that we were expecting him to. He didn't put up those massive numbers that he did last week. But at the end of the day, they got the job done. And let's dive into why the Chiefs won this game and what it really means for them moving forward. So to start, let's look at Mahomes' stat line. 23 for 37, 260 yards and an interception. Not exactly the prettiest stat line, but he got the job done. He found his receivers when he needed to. He found Tyreek Hill when he needed to. He found Travis Kelce when he needed to. He did the job. And yeah, he threw one interception, but overall, he allowed for this offense to be efficient enough to get the win. And there's not really much more to it. However, this season he has struggled at times, and this was a game where he struggled at times, but those struggles were not as bad as we've seen in the past few weeks. I think Mahomes has turned a corner after last week, throwing for over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Sure, today wasn't his best outing, but it looked better from him than we've seen in recent weeks. So at the end of the day, I still think Mahomes is on the uptick. I still think this Chiefs offense is on the uptick, and this is obviously a big win for them, getting to 7-4. The run game was also kind of there for this Chiefs team. Obviously, getting Clyde Edwards Helaire back was a big part of that. 12 rushes for 63 yards and a touchdown. We saw less of Darrell Williams. He only had 5 carries on the day, so it looks like it's going to be Clyde Edwards Helaire getting those majority of those touches moving forward. Obviously, he got that 1-yard touchdown run. Ended up getting a taunting for it, but overall, I thought he played well. I thought he was a big part of that run game and a big part of why that Chiefs offense was able to move the ball down the field. In the receiving game, Tyreek Hill, obviously 9 catches, 77 yards, did his thing. Travis Kelce, 5 catches for 74 yards. Clyde Edwards Helaire had 2 catches for 13 yards, but overall, this was an effort between Hill and Kelce. Now with the Chiefs being in first place in the AFC West, with the win, I think that they're going to need to continue to spread the ball around. They're going to continue to get the ball into the hands of their playmakers. And in today's game, the reason they won is because they got the ball into Kelce's hands. They got the ball into Travis Kelce's hands and Tyreek Hill's hands, and that ended up winning them the game. But to be honest, this game was not won by their offense. It was won by their defense. Charvarius Ward, Sneed had good games in the secondary. Both had interceptions, and both were big tackle guys. But I really want to talk about Chris Jones. Oh my God, 3.5 sacks in today's game was absolutely massive for the Chiefs defense. Was all around the quarterback 24/7. I thought he had a really big game, and they're going to need to see more of him. He went into today's game with 3 sacks on the season. He ended up finishing with 3.5 sacks. So now he's at 7.5 sacks on the season. Really, really big for that Chiefs defense. And overall, I thought that Chiefs defense did a really good job. They made Dak Prescott feel uncomfortable. They got to the quarterback. They caused chaos, and they got some interceptions. I thought they played a really, really good game overall. So I think the Chiefs defense won the Chiefs this game. But now let's move on to the Dallas Cowboys. And it was tough for the Dallas Cowboys from the get-go. Obviously without Amari Cooper, their best receiver, it was going to be tough. And then you lost CeeDee Lamb due to concussion midway through that game. It wasn't going to be easy. And, Dak Prescott struggled. 28 for 43, 216 yards, and 2 interceptions on the year. Tony Pollard and Zeke weren't really efficient on the ground. They combined for under 90 rushing yards on the day. And this was a lot of throwing the football, but not a lot of productivity throwing the football from this Cowboys offense. The receivers didn't do too much. Dalton Schultz, had 6 catches for 53 yards. Let me just look at the stat line. 5 catches for 44 yards. Michael Gallup. Cedric Wilson had 4 catches for 36 yards. Zeke had 6 catches for 36 yards. Nothing was being pushed down the field. They had no vertical passing in their passing game. And that's something that's normally a big part of the Cowboys offense, pushing the ball down the field through the air. They weren't able to do that. And I thought the Chiefs defense did a really good job of limiting everything the Cowboys were doing offensively. So I thought the Chiefs defense really was the highlight of this game here. And then the Dallas Cowboys defensively, I want to talk about Micah Parsons. I thought Micah Parsons played a really fantastic game. He had a couple sacks. He actually had 3 sacks, 4 tackles. He was all over the football. Was that real bright spot of that Cowboys defense? Ron Curse also had an interception on Patrick Mahomes. So there were some bright spots to this Cowboys defense, but I really want to highlight Micah Parsons. He was all over the football. He got to the quarterback, really good at the edge, rushing the passer. And I thought that was really where this Dallas Cowboys defense excelled. So at the end of the day, the game was expected to be a shootout. It was expected to be a game where both teams were going to put up a lot of points. It ended up becoming more of a defensive battle. But the Cowboys go into next week playing the Raiders. The Chiefs obviously have a bye next week. So as they rest and recuperate a little bit, they can try and get back into their rhythm. Clyde Edwards Helaire maybe another week to get him to 100%. Those injuries, nagging injuries they have on the field, will hopefully be better by then. And they're 7-4 now. They can hit the gas pedal and try and make a real playoff push and try to get the first seed or second seed in the AFC. And then if you're the Cowboys, you're moving on to play against the Las Vegas Raiders next week at home on Thanksgiving. So that's obviously a big game, and they're going to need to be able to run the football effectively and play defense against that Raiders team if they want to have a shot to win. So things to work on for both teams, definitely, but a big defensive battle shows that both teams could play some pretty good defense against some pretty good offenses in the NFL. Tough day for the Cowboys, tough day for Dak. Great day for the Chiefs defense as the Chiefs move to 7-4 and the Cowboys move to 7-3. And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, see ya.